Fragments was one of the best episodes of Steven Universe Future so far, and maybe of Steven Universe as a whole, and there are a lot of really fun little secrets contained in the episode, even little things such as Jasper's Reformation. When a gem reforms in Steven Universe, the changes to their design and outfit often symbolize something deep. When Amethyst reformed back in Season 2, for instance, her outfit wasn't too much different. Her shirt was darker, sure, but other than that, the only immediately noticeable difference was her shoulder strap was in place. This was after an entire episode of silly reformations and complaining about how she doesn't want to be like Pearl. But in the end, Amethyst did learn that just because she isn't like Pearl doesn't mean she has to do the opposite of her, and she could take herself seriously and be well kept, just like Pearl. This was further highlighted when Pearl commented on how happy she was that the strap was now in place. When Garnet reformed in Change Your Mind, there was a clear change in her color scheme, with blue and red both being more prominent, likely symbolizing how she wants to maintain her identity as both Ruby and Sapphire from now on, not just entirely being Garnet. This was later proven in Steven Universe Future, where we see that they are more than happy to split up for a day to go do things alone, no longer feeling the need to hold the record for the longest fusion ever. With Jasper, the biggest notable change was to that of the colors on her chest, which were entirely inverted, but with the exact same design. This makes perfect sense for her journey in the episode, in my opinion. It started with Steven being the student and her being the master, but their relationship inverts at the end of the episode, with her now seeing Steven as her master, and her inverting her colors perfectly summarizes that change. Some of you may have also noticed one of her horns is broken as well. It would seem that one of two things happened. Either the healing powers are imperfect, with the gem never being fully healed after it has been shattered, or maybe Steven didn't pick up every single piece of Jasper. There were a lot of shards, and it could be possible that a tiny little piece that he couldn't distinguish from the rest of the ground just was never found. Thankfully, it only meant a missing piece to her horn for the time being. The fact that Steven can heal shattered gems now is of course groundbreaking. It calls into question if shattered gems could be fixed on Homeworld with all the power of the diamonds combined, or if they were unaware of this power, as it seems to stem specifically from Steven's tears, which are shown to be stronger than just his spit, which seems to be the equivalent of the oils that the other diamonds produce, since it can help heal corruption as we saw at the beginning of the series. Jasper wasn't the only one with some subtle clues in a new appearance, however. A lot of us were surprised to see this hunky new version of Steven after only 3 days of training, something Jasper purposely noted so that the audience would know that this isn't Steven just aging or developing muscle. Even his hair grew and changed over the course of 3 days, even though it hasn't throughout the rest of the series. It would seem that Steven's state of mind doesn't just affect his age, but his appearance as a whole. Looking back, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, in Growing Pains, he is literally changing form, and that is probably what's going to happen with the corruption as well. But I think most of us had always assumed that if he had a happy state of mind, he would just look and age normally. Suddenly, Steven's various forms in the episode Too Many Birthdays make a lot of sense. In the episode, we saw various Stevens, including teen Stevens that look nothing like the Steven we know now. It would seem that both Stevens are possibilities, and if Steven had spent the last 2 years being depressed about himself, particularly about aging, he likely would have grown into the more sad and pathetic looking version of himself. One thing some of you may have noticed is that his hair actually resembles the new Bush Stevens we can see in the preview for next week's finale. It would seem that to become the Wormy Boy, Steven is going to have to become his hunky self again. Good news for those of you who enjoyed the character design at the very least. What I found most interesting is that Steven now has diamond eyes. Way back before Future began airing, there were storyboard revision leaks that showed that Steven with pink hair and diamond eyes were somewhere on the horizon, and it looks like these storyboards are going to be used for the finale. Unlike in Fragments, the eyes are going to be on regular Steven's design, not his hunky self. One very interesting storyboard from there is what appears to be Peridot using her powers to levitate Steven, and he looks very happy. If I had to guess, this is going to be from the very final episode of Future, where things are wrapped up. I still think Steven's going to leave Beach City at the end, but perhaps we'll have an episode of him saying goodbye to all the gems and having emotional and happy moments like this one. Before I go, I want to go over a few small fun details I noticed as well. The first being that this painting of rose quartz has been replaced. In its place is now a painting of all of the gems. This might have actually been around in earlier episodes and I just didn't notice it till now, but I thought it was really interesting because the painting was supposed to be about his family and now he's put up the crystal gems, who are really his real family here. Another fun little detail is Greg referring to Florida Island. This isn't one island off the coast of Florida, but actually all of Florida in its entirety. Way back in Season 2, in the episode It Could Have Been Great, Peridot pulls up a map of Earth and we see some crazy differences from our own planet. One of them is that Florida itself is just a state-sized island off the coast of America. This detail didn't actually come from the episode Fragments, it's from the episode Mr. Universe, but it felt like a fun detail that I wanted to share with you guys anyways, and with the show ending on Friday, these are, very rare opportunities for us to share these fun things with you, so I want to make sure we do them as much as we can in the meantime. That's all I have for you guys today, but before you go, here's Hailey with an announcement.
Hey everyone, this is Hailey popping in for a minute. If you're still watching this video, I would like to let you know that once again, we are looking for new hosts for the channel. There's just so much coming out in the next few months, and we really don't have time to cover it all. If you want to make money creating videos about cartoons, now is your chance. If you already have a YouTube channel, don't worry, you can still join. In fact, as long as you air your videos on Cartoon Universe first, you can still upload them to your official channel later. Anyways, here are the rules. So for your age, I would like you to at least be turning 18 in 3 months or less, or be older than 18, since once you turn 18 you can have a PayPal, which is what I would like to pay you through. And US residents are ideal, but not a strict requirement. As for how many videos I'd like you to make, one video every 2 weeks to start off would be great so I can give you feedback in time. And then ideally one video a week is the ultimate goal, or more if you are inspired. As for your equipment, I do expect you to have a decent quality microphone. I currently use a Blue Yeti, which is great, and also know some sort of editing software. I use Adobe Premiere Pro. I know there's other software that are probably cheaper than this, but that's just what I use. As for communication, Discord is a must. If you don't already have the app, please make sure to download it and get notifications on it so you can better respond to me and be able to respond to messages within a day unless you tell me you're going to be away for some time. Of course, there are going to be a few perks here, and to start off, 50% of your video's revenue is what you will get, and of course over time this can grow as you do great videos. If you live in Southern California, there are a lot of animation events that we could go to together, and you can record video and stuff, or there's stuff that I can't make you can go to. And if you live anywhere else, there's also many plans that we would like to cover, but we simply can't since we're far away. So if you're close to one of those cons, we can get you press access, and you can even maybe interview people or just kind of record what happens at each of the panels. As for commitment, I do expect at least a 4-month commitment. This is not an easy task, I know for some, so please know what you're getting yourself into. And finally, one of the most important things is the shows that we cover. I expect you to know about at least 2 of these shows in depth, and just knowing about other ones or being willing to watch other ones is definitely a positive. So here are the cartoons that we cover. Of course there's Steven Universe, but I should note that you probably won't be able to make too many Steven Universe videos since Deepcut and I had those pretty much covered, but if there's something you really want to make, or if it's something that you have a great idea for that we would not have thought of, you can definitely make a video on Steven Universe. The Dragon Prince, Ruby, Tangled the Series, Infinity Train, Villainous, Miraculous Ladybug, Young Justice, Rick and Morty, Final Space, Hazbin Hotel, Carmen Sandiego, Castlevania, Star Wars The Clone Wars, Adventure Time, Amphibia, Avatar The Last Airbender, and The Legend of Korra, and some upcoming shows that we might possibly cover are Owl House and Glitch Text. Or if you want to specialize in reviewing new shows / making video essays on various cartoons, let me know. I may miss some, but that's more or less the list. And so finally, to apply. Show me something that you have made that requires a voiceover. I can teach you how to edit, but sounding good while being recorded is the most important part. It can be something you made just for this application as well. Bonus points if you make a mini theory video or something that would be directly for the channel. You can also link me to any scripts you have made. Email cartoonuniverses@gmail.com with a link to your video sample and what shows you have watched. Also a little bit about yourself would be great so I can get to know you. If you have applied before, you can try again if you gotten better at making videos. There's no real time limit here, but the sooner we can get started, the better. Thank you!